Sarah had always considered herself a dog person. Cats, she believed, were cold, indifferent creatures who tolerated humans merely as food dispensers. That all changed the autumn morning a small grey tabby appeared on her doorstep, thin, shivering, and completely uninvited. She named him Milo. Within weeks, Milo had quietly, systematically dismantled every assumption Sarah had ever made about cats. It started with something small. Every evening, precisely around dusk, Milo would transform. The sleepy, sun-warmed creature who had lazed across her sofa all afternoon would suddenly spring to life, alert, bright-eyed, and intensely curious about every shadow moving beyond the window pane. Sarah mentioned this to her veterinarian during Milo's first checkup. "He's not being strange," Dr. Ayesha explained with a smile. "Milo is simply being a cat. Cats are crepuscular by nature, most active at dawn and dusk. It's hardwired into them. People assume cats are nocturnal, but that's actually a common misconception. Their peak activity windows are early morning and evening." Sarah filed that away. One mystery solved. The next discovery came through her hands. Whenever Sarah settled onto the couch after a long day, Milo would climb into her lap and begin kneading, rhythmically pressing his soft paws into her thigh, over and over, like a tiny baker preparing dough. It was oddly comforting, though she never fully understood why he did it. "That behavior goes all the way back to kittenhood," Dr. Ayesha told her later. "Kittens need their mother's belly while nursing to stimulate milk flow. As they grow older, cats carry that instinct forward. When Milo needs you, it means he feels completely safe and at peace. You've become his comfort." Sarah looked at Milo differently after that. But perhaps the most astonishing revelation came one quiet Sunday afternoon. Sarah was reorganizing her bookshelf when she noticed Milo following her, deliberately rubbing his face and paws along the shelf edges she had just rearranged. He was particularly focused on areas her hands had touched. She researched it that evening. What she discovered surprised her. Cats possess scent glands in their paw pads. When Milo kneaded her lap, scratched a surface, or pressed his paws against objects she had handled, he was leaving behind invisible pheromones, chemical signatures marking territory, and, more importantly, marking her. In Milo's silent, wordless language he was saying, "This is mine. She is mine. This place is safe." He wasn't being possessive. He was building a home. The more Sarah learned, the more she marveled. Milo could detect sounds she could never dream of hearing. While human hearing tops out around 20,000 Hz, cats can perceive frequencies up to 64,000 Hz, allowing them to detect the ultrasonic squeaks of small animals, the hum of electronics, and sounds that exist entirely beyond human perception. Milo wasn't staring at blank walls for no reason. He was listening to an entire world Sarah couldn't access. She also learned to read the temperature of his world. A healthy cat's body runs warmer than a human's between 38.1 degrees Celsius and 39.2 degrees Celsius. On cold winter nights, when Milo pressed himself against her neck or curled into the curve of her knees, he wasn't just seeking her warmth, he was sharing his own. That steady, warm weight was mutual comfort exchanged without a single word. Behaviorists suggest that when cats settle on their owners, they are drawn to the warmth and familiar scent of the person they trust most. It isn't random. Milo always found the warmest spot, usually somewhere near her heartbeat. By winter, Sarah had completely revised her understanding of cats. They were not cold or indifferent. They communicated constantly through scent, through touch, through timing, through the precise placement of a warm body against yours at exactly the right moment. One evening, as Milo kneaded her lap at dusk, his eyes half closed and his purr filling the quiet room, Sarah realized something important. He had never needed words. He had been speaking to her all along in pheromones, in paw prints, in the ancient, unbroken language of trust. She had simply needed to learn how to listen.